Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for standing by for the fourth quarter and fiscal year 2023 earnings conference call for Xpeng Inc. At this time, all participants are in listen-only mode. After management's remarks, there will be a question and answer session. Today's conference call is being recorded. I will now turn the call over to your host, Mr. Alex Xie, Head of Investor Relations of the company. Please go ahead, Alex.
Thank you. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Xpeng's fourth quarter and fiscal year 2023 earnings conference call. Our financial and operating results were issued via Newswire services earlier today and available online. You can also view the earnings press release by visiting the IR section of our website at ir.xpeng.com. Participants on today's call from our management team will include Co-founder, Chairman, and CEO, Mr. He Xiaopeng; Vice Chairman and President, Dr. Brian Gu; Vice President of Corporate Finance Investments, Mr. Charles Zhang; Vice President of Finance Accounting, Mr. James Wu; and myself. Management will begin with prepared remarks, and the call will conclude with a Q&A session. A webcast replay of this conference call will be available on the IR section of our website. Before we continue, please note that today's discussion will contain forward-looking statements made under the Safe Harbor Provisions of the U.S. Private Securities Litigation Reform Act of 1995. Forward-looking statements involve inherent risks and uncertainties. As such, the company's results may be materially different from the views expressed today. Further information regarding these and other risks and uncertainties is included in the relevant public filings of the company, as filed with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. The company does not assume any obligations to update any forward-looking statements except as required under applicable law. Please also note that Xpeng's earnings press release and this conference call includes the disclosure of unaudited GAAP financial measures as well as unaudited non-GAAP financial measures. Xpeng's earnings press release contains a reconciliation of the unaudited non-GAAP measures to the unaudited GAAP measures. I will now turn the call over to our Co-founder, Chairman, and CEO, Mr. He Xiaopeng. Please go ahead.
大家好，2023年，随着我们的战略跟组织调整以及新产品的推出，那么小鹏汽车的交付量是逐季度提升，在2023年4季度突破了6万台，同比增长了171%。2023年全年的交付量超过了14万台。我们的平台化研发、技术降本跟经营改善初见成效，在2023年4季度，公司毛利率改善至6.2%，整车毛利率环比提高了10个百分点。从现金流的角度看，去年下半年正向的自由现金流超过了60个亿，并且首次实现了全年经营现金流转正。在2023年年底，我们的在手的现金超过了450亿元。那么充裕的资金跟正循环的现金流，让我们更有底气在激烈竞争环境中间实现高质量和高速度的增长。我相信这只是一个变化的开始，我期待在2024年会让大家看到我们更多在经营的能力上的更大提高跟效果。
Hello, everyone. I am pleased to share that Xpeng experienced impressive growth in our delivery volume quarter by quarter in 2023, which exceeded 60,000 in Q4, up 171% year over year, thanks to our proactive change to business strategy and organizational structure, as well as the new product launches. In total, we delivered over 140,000 units in 2023. Our efforts to focus on platform-based R&D, technology-driven cost reduction, and operational efficiency improvement have begun to yield positive results. In Q4, our gross margin improved to 6.2%, with a vehicle margin expansion of 10 percentage points compared to the previous quarter. Our company achieved a positive free cash flow of more than RMB 6 billion for the second half of 2023, and achieved for the first time positive full-year operating cash flow. As of the end of 2023, we had over RMB 45 billion in cash, which puts us in a strong financial position to deliver high quality and rapid growth in a highly competitive environment. I believe this is just the beginning of the change, and I look forward to bringing more improvements and positive results in our capabilities and operations in 2024.
那么今年是小鹏汽车创立以来的第10年，也是中国汽车行业我认为会进入高强度竞争的第1年。那么从今年1季度以来，行业的价格战越演越烈，有一批企业出局，也有知名的科技公司停止对造车的投入。我相信这会标志在2024至2027年中国智能电动车的淘汰赛正式开始。那么对小鹏来说，从2023年开始，我们就已经预见，并且我们的战略调整为为了迎接更大量级的规模增长浪潮和更激烈的降价竞争。那么小鹏坚定的在以下几个方面全力的投入，包括第一个，全面的增强组织能力跟效率；第二个，大幅度提高经营的质量和全闭环的客户体验，做好面对竞争的更全面的产品技术，包括供应链和生产制造的规模化布局，重塑国内跟全球的品牌销售和服务能力，推动全自动辅助驾驶和无人驾驶的科技平权，以及加速全球化布局。那么换一个角度，我们不以原先的短期和较小的规模增长为出发点布局未来，在面对淘汰赛的战略布局跟战术解码之时，我也看到非常令人兴奋的战略机遇。那么小鹏汽车的组织调整当前已经完成框架并渐入佳境。另外，我们很快会从产品上开启一个强劲的大产品周期，在未来的3年推出10多款全新车型，那么加上配套全球化的左舵右舵车型和升级的改款车型，整个 SOP 的车型数量会达到接近30个。那么但是因为整个小鹏模块化能力的成熟和研发效率的提高，并没有提高过多的研发成本。在大模型和自动驾驶团队的努力下，我们正在推动自动驾驶能力的快速提高以及成本的大幅度下降。那么我们会让商业模式跟客户体验走向更多的车型。那么包括现在来看，即将国际化会对小鹏带来快速的增长机会。
In 2024, we will be celebrating the 10th anniversary of our founding, and it will also be the first year filled with intense competition in the Chinese automobile industry. Since the first quarter of the year, there has been an industry-wide price war, which has been growing increasingly fierce. Against this backdrop, several EV startups have been forced to wind down their operations, and certain renowned technology companies have terminated their investment in auto business. These dynamics suggest that the race for smart EVs for the larger wave of growth and intensified price competition, we have adjusted our strategies in a number of fields. We enhanced our organization and efficiency in an all-round manner. We made significant improvement in the quality of our operations and fully closed-loop customer experience. We built comprehensive competitiveness in products, technologies, and supply chain to support our planned larger scale. We upgraded our sales and service capabilities in China and overseas markets. We made full scenario ADAS and autonomous driving more accessible and affordable, and we accelerated our global expansion. To put it differently, we are long-term oriented and never plan for the future based on the assumption of short-term or growth at small scale. As I formulated our strategies and tactics for the knockout round of EV competition, I am excited about the strategic opportunities underway. We have completed the framework of our organizational adjustment, which starts to deliver positive results. We are about to embark on a strong product cycle and launch more than 10 new vehicle models over the next 3 years. Together with the corresponding left-hand drive and right-hand drive models for the international market, as well as facelift versions, there will be nearly 30 projects SOP in the next 3 years. Thanks to our strong capabilities to leverage modules and platform and higher efficiency in R&D, incremental R&D expenses for these projects is limited. We are leveraging artificial intelligence to drive our autonomous driving technology forward, which enables us to lower cost and deploy extraordinary experience in more vehicle models with a new business model. Lastly, international expansion open new avenues for our growth.
我相信接下来的竞争不光要看短期的规模跟份额，更考验一个车企在高质量且高效率的竞争如何在高质量且高效率的下保持规模化、智能化跟国际化这几个维度上是否持续领先，并且通过品类创新跟商业模式创新打造出独特的竞争优势。那么在我看来，为了把握智能国际的战略机遇，小鹏要做到的要有更多像 X9 一样的颠覆的品类创新，在组织上要补齐所有短板。那么在我看来，过去的小鹏的长板、短板都很突出，反而让我们更加有方向跟效率去补充好短板。
The upcoming competition isn't solely focused on gaining a larger market share in the short term. It is also about demonstrating the automaker's capacity to maintain its leadership position by achieving high quality and efficient growth, showcasing expertise in smart technology, expanding globally, and creating competitive advantages through innovative products and business models. From my perspective, in order to capitalize on the strategic opportunities from smart technology and global markets, Xpeng must continue to make innovative breakthroughs and address any organizational shortcomings. In my view, in the past, we never really showed very obvious shortcomings or advantages, but going forward, we will need to address these shortcomings definitely.
那么在2024年，我们首先会进一步深入营销变革，我们要建立一支强有力的新营销团队。我们会从原来的汽车加互联网的打法升级到汽车加手机互联网的打法。那么过去的汽车营销是以中心化平台的 PGC 为主，我们现在更多的聚焦去中心化的头部社交媒体，充分利用广大用户的 UGC。我举个例子，我们在春节期间征集车主春运自驾的视频活动，吸引了超过2万名用户的积极参与，将小鹏自驾的口碑从一线城市扩散到天南地北的家乡。从最近1个多月的数据来看，我们的前端种草等多项数据都有超过100%的效果增长。我们相信通过营销上的创新，我们不仅要实现口碑声量跟销售线索大幅度增长，而且要不断强化小鹏汽车在自驾领先上的品牌标签。
By 2024, we are looking to take our marketing strategy to the next level by creating a new and potent marketing team. We will upgrade our marketing strategies to leverage advantages of mobile internet platforms for the automobile sector. In the past, automobile marketing was primarily dominated by PGC on centralized platforms. Now, we will focus more on decentralized social media platforms and make full use of the UGC from a broad base of customers. For example, we launched a campaign during the Chinese New Year to call for videos sharing of ADAS experience by Xpeng customers. Over 20,000 customers participated in the event, spreading the reputation of Xpeng ADAS from Tier 1 cities to hundreds of cities across the nation. In the past months, customer interest grew by over 100% in key social platforms. Through marketing innovation, we should not only achieve a substantial increase in word of mouth and sales leads, but also continuously strengthen Xpeng's brand recognition as a leader in autonomous driving technology.
那么渠道的扩张跟变革是我们2024年战略的关键一环。我们在2023年完成了一轮渠道升级，我们淘汰了超过130家门店。同时，我们通过木星计划引入了160家优秀的经销商伙伴。这些调整虽然会影响我们在去年4季度跟今年1季度的部分的销售能力，但是它有效地改善了我们渠道的能力，并且新增覆盖了40个3线甚至更低线的城市。在今年，我们将会在培育新店的同时，进一步扩大销售网络的覆盖， 那么加速渠道下沉到3、4、5线城市。我们计划在今年3季度，小鹏销的门店数量将会有质量的提高到600家，并且在新品牌上市后持续扩张。
As part of our 2024 sales growth strategy, we need to expand and transform our sales channel network. In 2023, we accomplished a series of upgrades and optimizations to our sales channels, which included closing over 130 low-performing stores and adding over 160 strong franchise partners through our Jupiter projects. Even if these closing down of the stores and the reorganization actions that we have taken had some impact on our Q4 last year and Q1 this year's of sales, and we believe that these changes not only improved our sales channel capabilities, but also will help us expand our presence in the 14 new low-tier cities. In 2024, while we cultivate our new stores, we will continue to broaden our sales network coverage and accelerate channel expansion in lower-tier markets, such as in the 5th and 6th cities. Our objective is to increase the number of sales stores to 600 by the third quarter of 2024. Our sales network will continue to grow following the launch of our new brand product.
那么从今年的第2季度开始，随着我们销售门店的逐步的开启，那么我们会启动创新的经销商的新的合作模式。我们会建立一个半个月左右的短期渠道库存，以之大幅度加快现在的终端的交付速度，并且充分激活经销商的积极性，有力的提升销量。同时，我们将会通过系统跟监察机制严格的管控库存水平和全国统一的用户购买体验，那么避免传统经销商销售模式里面的弊端。
Starting in the second quarter of this year, as our new sales stores gradually open for business, we will roll out an innovative franchise model. We are asking our franchise partners to take inventory, which is equivalent to their sales in half a month. We expect the new model will significantly speed up deliveries and incentivize the franchisees to drive more sales. We'll use our systems and monitoring mechanism to manage inventory closely and ensure consistency in customer experience no matter where they are. This will also allow us to overcome issues in the traditional franchise sales model.
那么我们将智能动力和整车平台在过去的1年，我们整合到一个大的智能平台上。我们通过设计的模块化和供应链合作伙伴的整合，实现了各个车型之间更大化的共通跟共用。那么平台化的研发跟规模效应不仅帮助我们降低了供应链成本跟制造成本，而且可以加快实现我们超过我们在去年2季度所提到的25%的降本目标，而且这还同时加快了，大幅提高了我们研发迭代的效率，加大了我们在供应链保供上的这个更容易进行保供。那么从产品的规划角度，那么凤一跟我将坚持做好品类的创新，因为品类创新才是最大价值的创新。那么新品类的差异化优势会远远大于同质化产品的内卷。例如最近我们的 X9 创造了兼容4座和7座大型车的一个全新品类，它对于 MPV 跟大型的 SUV 客户都极具吸引力，所以在交付的前2个月就成为了纯电3排座车型的销量冠军。我们预计 X9 在3月和4月的交付量还将环比大幅度提高。
We have brought together our smart technologies, powertrain, and vehicle platforms onto a comprehensive intelligent platform to ensure maximum compatibility across various models. By adopting a platform-based R&D approach and economies of scale, we can reduce costs in the supply chain and manufacturing processes, which can accelerate our goal of achieving an over 25% cost reduction. Additionally, this approach significantly improves technology iteration efficiency. From a product planning perspective, both Fengying and I will continue to drive product innovation as we believe that it is the best way to maximize value creation. We understand that the differentiation factor brought by innovative products is a far greater advantage than any competitive advantage among homogeneous products could ever be. For example, with the X9, we have created a new category that suits both 4- and 7-seater vehicles, which appeals to customers who are looking for MPVs and large SUVs. X9 became the best-selling model of a BEV with 3 rows of seats in just the first 2 months of delivery. We expect that the delivery of X9 in March and April will continue to increase significantly month on month.
在下个月的北京车展期间，小鹏还将正式推出面向10到15万级别的全新品牌。我们都知道10到15万的价格段拥有庞大的市场潜力，但是要在这个区间做一款各个方面都过硬，并且配备自动驾驶能力的好车，并且还能实现盈利，是一件极其困难的事情。那么这需要企业具有接下来规模化跟体系化能力。我们看到很多友商也在这个价格段探索，但是能够把智能驾驶做到极致的品牌，在当前还没有出现。经过过去10年的准备，我们终于准备好了。我们的新品牌致力于打造年轻人的第一台 AI 自驾汽车。那么这个品牌将是颠覆创新的全新物种。那么全新品牌的第一款车型，我们将在今年的3季度上市并交付。我们有信心这会是今年 A 级纯电市场最亮眼的爆款新车型。那么在这个之后，我们基于这个平台还有多款车型会推出，并且在中国甚至全球市场开始交付。那么在今年下半年，小鹏还会交付一款小鹏主品牌的全新车型，使我们今年发布的全新产品达到3款，并且我们还会预发布更多的新产品在今年。
Furthermore, we are officially launching a new brand targeting the RMB 100,000 to 150,000 price range during the Beijing Auto Show next month. The market of the RMB 100,000 to 150,000 price range has huge market potential, but it is extremely difficult to provide great products with all-round competitiveness, including high-level ADAS in this price range, and even more difficult to achieve profitability at the same time. It takes comprehensive capabilities at scale to realize this goal. Many of our peers are also exploring this price range, but still, none can provide excellent ADAS experience at this range. After 10 years of preparation, today we are finally ready. Our new brand is committed to building the first AI-powered smart car for the young generation. This brand will be a new species of innovation. The first vehicle model under this new brand will officially launch and commence deliveries in the third quarter. We are confident that it will be the most striking and sought-after A-class BEV model in its segment. Furthermore, we will introduce multiple models on this platform in China and overseas markets in the coming future. In addition to this new brand, the second half of this year, we will deliver a new Xpeng branded model, bringing the number of new products we launched this year to 3, and will unveil more new products.
那么我们都知道，上一个10年在中国是新能源的10年，而下一个10年会是智能化的10年。那么在小鹏汽车以自动驾驶为核心的 AI 定义汽车一直都在努力。那么小鹏的研发能力跟产品体验的高度差异化，将会决定智能电动车加速颠覆传统燃油车。那么这意味着巨大的机会。那么小鹏在2024年会继续加大对 AI 的长期投入，并且引入多名具有国际化视野的 AI 领军人才。那么同时在今年的第2个季度，我们将实现 AI 自驾大模型的量产上车。这可能是中国汽车行业首个量产落地的车用人工智能跟车用认知的引擎，它让自驾更聪明。我们将坚定地引领高阶自动驾驶的技术平权， 覆盖更主流的大众用户市场，并且走向全球，不断地扩大我们的规模优势跟技术优势，并且加速商业化的变革。
We all know that the last decade was the decade of new energy, and the next decade would be the decade of smart technology. AI-powered smart EV technology and architecture are no longer just a mid to long-term goal. At Xpeng, we have already begun the process of AI-defined cars that are centered on autonomous driving. The vast differentiation edges stemming from AI R&D capabilities and AI product experiences will determine how quickly the transition from traditional ICE to smart EVs occurs and shape the auto industry's long-term competitive landscape. This presents a tremendous opportunity for us. That is why we have been increasing our long-term investment in AI and recruited a number of top talents for AI with international vision. In the second quarter of this year, we will achieve the mass production of AI-enabled ADAS with large model capabilities. This will be the first mass-produced automotive artificial intelligence and automotive cognitive engine in the China automobile industry, making our software smarter. Furthermore, we are firmly committed to promoting equity and inclusion in the advanced autonomous driving. We will continue to lead the innovation of autonomous driving technology, making it affordable and accessible to a much broader customer base, and enter into the international markets. We will continue to expand our scale and strengthen our technology leadership, as well as accelerate the commercialization of our industry-leading technologies.
那么从今年年初开始，我们向 Max 版本的用户在全国200多个城市进行推送。那么2月份的用户的活跃渗透率达到了 83%。那么小鹏 XNGP 在城区自驾的活跃用户规模、用户体验、里程渗透率都达到了我们的历史数据最高。那么在春运期间 ，XNGP 帮我们的用户开了接近7000万公里，日均使用率达到 67%， 城区的日均使用率达到 49%。那么下一步，我给团队定了一个非常有挑战的目标，我期望 XNGP 在核心区域，在重点市场的出行体验，可以在未来的时间对标 Waymo 在旧金山 Robotaxi。我期望在体验从量变到质变的同时，要做好一个事情，也就是说，让自动驾驶的成本大幅度下降。我相信能力的大幅度提高跟成本的大幅度下降的叠加，会成为加速自驾普及的一个关键的驱动力。那么在今年下半年，我们推出了全新带 XNGP 的车型里面，我们会用新的技术方案使整体的硬件成本下降 50%， 使智能汽车的成本竞争力大幅度提高，这样能够推动高阶智能化的更快速、更大范围的普及。
Earlier this year, we introduced the XNGP ADAS to all our Max users across 200 of cities nationwide. XNGP ADAS enables intelligent driving on urban roads. In February, XNGP's monthly active user penetration rate reached an impressive 83%. We are proud to be the industry leader in terms of active user scale, user experience, and mileage penetration rate. During the Chinese New Year travel rush, XNGP helped our car owners drive over 70 million kilometers. The average daily utilization rate of XNGP on highways and in urban areas reached 67% and 49% respectively. To take our XNGP assisted driving experience to the next level, we have set a challenging goal for ourselves. We want to benchmark our XNGP assisted driving experience in core cities such as Beijing, Shanghai, Guangzhou, and Shenzhen against Waymo's Robotaxi experience in San Francisco. As our ADAS approaches the inflection point of experience, significant cost reduction will emerge as another key driver to accelerate its further penetration. We plan to employ innovative technology solutions to reduce XNGP-related hardware costs by 50%. starting with the new model to be launched in the second half of this year. Our aim is to significantly boost our smart EVs competitiveness in terms of cost, accelerating the widespread adoption of advanced smart technologies.
那么在中国市场之外，我们会加速海外业务的扩张速度，把握智能电动汽车出海的巨大市场机遇。那么在2023年下半年，随着 G9 等车型在海外的上市，那么北欧市场对小鹏汽车的反馈超出我们的预期。在挪威和丹麦，小鹏 G9 交付2个月后就成为当地中大型纯电 SUV 销量第一的热门车型。这充分的说明了小鹏汽车科技领先的智能电动车对于海外客户一样很有吸引力。我们计划在今年2季度面向全球市场推出 G6 的国际化左舵版本，并且在下半年推出 G6 的右舵版本。我相信 G6 在全球市场的销量潜力将会比 G9 还大，成为全球的这个大单品。那么在销售渠道方面，我们在今年会通过与更多优质经销商的合作，高效的进入更多的全球重点市场，包括西欧、中东、东南亚和英联邦的国家。
We have ambitious plans to expand our business globally by taking advantage of the increasing adoption of electric vehicle in international markets, and we plan to significantly accelerate the expansion of overseas business in 2024. In the second half of 2023, we launched the G9 into the Northern European market, and we were thrilled to receive a tremendous response. Within just 2 months of its launch in Norway, Denmark, the Xpeng G9 became the best-selling mid to large BEV SUV in its category, which clearly shows that our smart EVs with advanced technology offer exceptional value to customers worldwide. In the second quarter of 2024, we plan to introduce an international left-hand drive G6 model, which will be followed by the right-hand drive version in the second half of the year. We believe that the G6 will be even more successful than the G9 in terms of global sales potential and will become a bestseller worldwide. To expand our sales channels, we will concentrate on collaborating with high-quality dealers to efficiently enter key global markets, including Western Europe, Middle East, Southeast Asia, and Commonwealth nations.
很高兴的是，我们与大众汽车集团的战略合作取得了多个里程碑式的重大进展。我们不仅签订了平台与软件战略技术合作的联合开发协议，另外联合采购也已经全面展开，那么战略的协同效应开始兑现。从2024年起，平台和软件服务的收入将开始对我们的财务表现，特别是毛利率带来显著跟持续性的贡献。我们开创了汽车行业全新的商业模式，使我们在电动化、智能化和 AI 技术相关的研发投入获得了较好的投资回报率。那么小鹏和大众已经形成了能力互补、互利共赢的长期战略联盟，我们将一起兑现战略协同效应，共同应对行业变化的挑战。
We have achieved significant milestones in our strategic cooperation with the Volkswagen Group. Recently, we entered into a master agreement with them for platform and software strategic technical collaboration, and the joint sourcing program has also been launched. We are happy to see that strategic synergies have started to materialize. By 2024, we expect revenue generated from platform and software services to become a meaningful and ongoing contributor to our financial results, especially to gross margin. We have created an innovative business model in the automotive industry, generating excellent returns on our R&D investment in electrification, intelligent driving, and AI technology. Xpeng and Volkswagen have formed a long-term strategic alliance with complementary strengths and mutual benefits. Going forward, we will work together to unleash greater strategic synergies and address industry shifts and challenges.
那么从2023年4季度起，我们主动开启了新的一轮的能力变革，包括更重视短视频的营销，并且减少低效率的线索采买，主动大幅度削减经营不佳的销售中心，以及在未来更多车型密集上市来进行供应链、生产保障等系列的调整。那么由于一季度我们面临激烈的市场竞争以及上述营销渠道的调整等内外部的挑战，我们预期2024年第一季度总交付数量约为21000至22500辆，那么收入预计约为人民币58至62亿元，那么交付同比上升15.2%至23.4%，收入的同比上升是43.8%至53.7%。虽然变革会带来环比数据的下降阵痛，但是从3月份我们就看到变革的初步成效正在起到效果。我相信这些变革的效果会在今年的2季度和下半年开始更加明显的体现。那么预计2季度的交付量同比和环比都将得到大幅度增长。
We have proactively started a new round of transformation to strengthen our competitiveness since the fourth quarter of 2023. We focus more on marketing on short video platforms while cutting inefficient marketing spending on sales leads. We phased out a number of underperforming sales stores, and we adapt our supply chain and production to an intense product launch cycle for a large number of models. We faced intensified competition and the above-mentioned adjustments in marketing and sales channel in the first quarter. Taking challenges both internally and externally into consideration, we now expect our total vehicle deliveries to be between 21,000 and 22,500 units in the first quarter of 2024, up 15.2 to 23.4% year-over-year. We expect our first quarter revenue to be between RMB 5.8 and RMB 6.2 billion, up 43.8 to 53.7% year-over-year. Although there would be challenges due to transformation in the near term, I have seen the initial positive results in March. I believe that the positive effects of these changes will be evident starting from the second quarter and second half of the year. We expect the growth in deliveries in second quarter of 2024 will increase significantly on both quarter-on-quarter and year-on-year terms.
那么谢谢大家，下面由我们的财务 VP James 为大家介绍我们2023年第4季度的财务状况。
Thank you, everyone. With that, I will now turn the call over to our VP of Finance, Mr. James Wu, to discuss our financial performance for the fourth quarter of 2023.
Thank you, Xpeng. Now let me provide a brief overview of our financial results for the fourth quarter of 2023. I'll reference RMB only in my discussion today, unless otherwise stated. Our total revenues were 13.05 billion for the fourth quarter of 2023, an increase of 153.9% year-over-year, and an increase of 53% quarter-over-quarter. Revenues from vehicle sales were 12.23 billion for the fourth quarter of 2023, representing an increase of 162.3% year-over-year, and an increase of 55.9% quarter-over-quarter. The year-over-year and quarter-over-quarter increases were mainly attributable to the accelerating sales growth of the G6 and G9 in the fourth quarter of 2023. Gross margin was 6.2% for the fourth quarter of 2023, compared with 8.7% for the same period of 2022, and negative 2.7% for the third quarter of 2023. Vehicle margin was 4.1% for the fourth quarter of 2023, compared with 5.7% for the same period of 2022, and negative 6.1% for the third quarter of 2023. The year-over-year decrease was explained by, first, the inventory provisions and losses on purchase commitments as a result of upgrades of existing models, with a negative impact of 1.9 percentage points, and secondly, increased sales promotions and the expiry of new energy vehicle subsidies, offset partially by cost reduction and improvement in product mix. The quarter-over-quarter increase was primarily attributable to the cost reduction and better product mix. R&D expenses were 1.31 billion for the fourth quarter of 2023, representing an increase of 6.3% year-over-year and an increase of 0.1% quarter-over-quarter. The year-over-year increase was mainly in line with the development timing and progress of new vehicle programs. SG&A expenses were 1.94 billion for the fourth quarter of 2023, representing an increase of 10.3% year-over-year and an increase of 14.4% quarter-over-quarter. The year-over-year and quarter-over-quarter increases were primarily attributable to the higher commissions paid to the franchise stores, driven by higher sales volume. Furthermore, the quarter-over-quarter increase was also due to higher marketing, promotional, and advertising expenses to support vehicle sales. As a result of the foregoing, loss from operations was 2.05 billion for the fourth quarter of 2023, compared with 2.52 billion for the same period of 2022 and 3.16 billion for the third quarter of 2023. Fair value gain on derivative liability was 0.56 billion for the fourth quarter of 2023. This is due to our share purchase agreement with Volkswagen Group entered in Q3. Until the transaction closes, the fluctuations in the fair value of the forward share purchase agreement were measured through profit or loss, resulting in a non-cash gain of 0.56 billion in this quarter. On December 6, 2023, the transaction was successfully completed. Net loss was 1.35 billion for the fourth quarter of 2023, compared with 2.36 billion for the same period of 2022 and 3.89 billion for the third quarter of 2023. On the cash front, we've achieved an important milestone of operating cash flow positive for the full year of 2023. This, together with the strategic investment from Volkswagen, helped bolster our liquidity. As of December 31, 2023, our company had cash and cash equivalents, restricted cash, short-term investments, and time deposits in total of 45.7 billion. This will be a strong foundation to support our growth strategy in the years to come. To be mindful of the length of our earnings call, I would encourage listeners to refer to our earnings press release for more details on our fourth quarter and full year 2023 financial results. This concludes our prepared remarks. We'll now open the call to questions. Operator, please go ahead.
Thank you. If you wish to ask a question, please press star one on your telephone and wait for your name to be announced. If you wish to cancel your request, please press star two. If you're on a speakerphone, please pick up the handset to ask your question. For the benefit of all participants on today's call, if you wish to ask your question to management in Chinese, please immediately repeat your question in English. For the sake of clarity and order, please ask one question at a time. Management will respond, and then feel free to follow up with your next question. Your first question comes from Tim Zhao with Morgan Stanley. Please go ahead.
管理层感谢接受我的提问啊。我这边有两个问题，第一个是有关于产品的，因为刚才也提到，就小鹏汽车，我们在未来3年规划新品跟改款大约是30款，也就是说，我们从今年下半年开始会看到一个比较密集的新车和改款的上市。那想问一下管理层，我们如何避免新产品对这个老产品的冲击啊？就像我们过去几年看到的这情况就是会有一些销量在不同车型此消彼长，那导致于说集团总销量难以突破的一个瓶颈。So my first question is about the product strategy, because Xpeng plans to launch about 13 new models and facelifts in the next 3 years, which implies the company will have new model coming in the market basically every quarter, starting from the second half this year. So with such an intense launch schedule, what would you do to avoid the capitalization from the new product and keep the sales momentum of the whole lineup? As over the past few years, we noticed that whenever Xpeng launched the new cars, the sales of the old model always decline. So how should we avoid that? That's my first question. Thank you.
对，这个问题非常好啊。实际上，我们从去年的年初，也是奉因 加入小鹏汽车，我们第一件事情就是这个事情因为做规划包括了产品、技术、配套的供应链、生产，以及到相应的品牌投放的节奏、市场的营销，它这个规划是需要2到3年之前就开始做的所以我们是去年一开始就一直在讨论包括我们在不同的价位段、不同的大小、不同的能力不同的时间轴，这里面我们的产品是该怎么去规划的。那么这个规划里面更多的是一些这个全新品类的创新，而尽量应该少同样的，比如说特别是对于轿车，我们的轿车数量会比较少。那么所以在这样一个规划里面，我们重新组建了我们的整个产品的团队，在去年的上半年也第一季度开始。所以实际上大家现在所看到的，我们在从产品的规划之后，我们技术上用一个扶摇架构2套动力、2套智能化的平台然后就能够支持所有的这些车。实际上这些都是在我们的规划体系里面，包括了我们在过去的时间都碰到了这个上市之后供应链这个没有办法足够支持这个体量，以及上市之后一段时间供应链可能又会产能上有超出等一系列的问题，我们全部都进行了讨论如何去解决跟避免。所以因此在去年你也看到小鹏在采购在供应链管理、在制造里面我们进行了调整，并且我们现在上线，在今年会完全的上线全部的数字化产品，去来确保所有的流程是坚定的执行，确保所有的检查审核是一致，并且我们会在多款产品里面尽量的共用模块来去增加质量、降低成本和提高这个产能的这个利用率。那么所以实际上在从今年的3季度之后开始你会看到我们刚才所说的就是有这么多款产品在不同的季度内上市实际上我们现在的计划比以前可能要做得更早，12个月到18个月之间去做，包括了哪些价位、哪些时间、不同车型和不同大小在中国甚至部分在全球上面的投放的这些，包括了这个产供销的管理，这是我们在过去的上半年到今年持续都在做的事情。因为整个市场的竞争在变化我们的友商们出的牌也在不断的变化，包括他们的配置，包括他们的价格区间也正在每个季度甚至或者每2个季度的调整。所以这一系列就是我刚刚在整个财报里面所说的，要想面对这个竞争，首先要组织一个能够应对长期规划跟短期变化的一个有执行力的强的组织，这是我认为将来能够打赢这场淘汰赛的核心的这个事情。所以在你的抱歉太长了，要请翻译同学呢帮我翻译一下，谢谢。
Thank you very much for your question, and that is a great question. So exactly in beginning of this year, and this is what Fengying and I myself we have done, and this was our number one task. And it is very important to carry out planning, and that involves planning for products, technology, supply chain, as well as the manufacturing and the launches of products. And if one would like to do this, usually the preparation should really start 2 to 3 years beforehand. And this would involve, for instance, looking at the price range, the size of different cars, the capabilities, and as well as timelines. So especially with our brand new products, and these products, and for instance, certain products we did not really have a lot of volume in the past, and for our product team, and starting from Q1 of last year, and we had reorganized the team, and in order to be able to come up with a product that is suitable for the new technology. And at the moment we simply would only need one architecture, two powertrain, and two autonomous driving system, and this would be able to support our product. And in the past, we have had situations whereby once a product has been launched into market, however, the supply chain wasn't strong enough to cope with the demand for delivery. And this time round, we had also looked at and discussed very comprehensively regarding this issue in terms of supply chain management, manufacturing, and we will also have a digital process in place to make sure that all the processes are done and followed exactly the same to ensure quality improvement, production improvement, efficiency improvement, as well as cost reduction. You will be able to see after Q3 of this year, and we will have different launches, and this is something that we have done for the past 12 to 18 months. And as I have said, and this would be, for instance, in terms of the price range, the models of different vehicles, and not only just for China, but also globally for our procurement as well. And in the market, you can also see that as the market changes, and we'll also see our peers and competitors, they will also be playing their cards very quickly, and often these days changes and adjustments will be made on a quarterly basis or every 2 quarters. And as I have mentioned earlier in my financial report and statement, it is not only enough to focus on the short term, but also on the long term, and in the meantime staying flexible and be able to adapt to the changes. And what is core of being able to achieve that is really to put together a very strong team.
那么刚刚您所问的关于最后这块在营销体系如何去避免这些产品之间的，我只讲2点，几个重要的点。第一个就是说，我们这个在2023年底开始全面实施小鹏的 XPD 的端到端的整个的产品这个市场流程，我们要用这个流程来去规定，在小鹏的体系里面，不同的产品是坚定的执行的。其次，在整个产品战略规划里面，我们一开始从价格跟产品的能力上就已经把不同产品之间的这个在产品矩阵里面的这个布局都已经想得非常清楚了。通过这2点为主吧，我可以说来去解决您刚才的这个问题。谢谢。
And to respond to the second part of your question, and which was about from a marketing perspective and how to avoid cannibalization. And basically starting from end of last year, and we have already put in together this XNGP process and to ensure that everything is complied and the process are followed exactly the same. And secondly, and when we look at different prices and different capabilities of our products, and we also ensure that there is differentiation in these regards. So those are the 2 main points that we would be adopting to avoid cannibalization.
谢谢小鹏总详尽的回答。我第2个问题是有关于竞争。因为其实刚才在这个简报中也提到，今年开年以来，在市场上面价格和新品的这个竞争是越演越烈。除了下半年这个集团新车型的增量之外，也想请问一下小鹏汽车如何应对目前的一个价格战，然后提升现有车型的一个销量。So my second question is about the competition. As we noticed that competition on the vehicle prices and new products has been getting fiercer year to date. In addition to the increase in new models in the second half of this year, how will Xpeng react to the price war and in the meantime effectively increase sales of existing models? That's my second question. Thank you.
对，这是一个极其困难回复的这个话题，我相信每一家车企都会有每家车企不同的方式。我这边非常简单的说一下我们的一个思考。我认为最重要面对这种竞争的是要构建自己的体系能力啊，这是我想说的第一个。第2个，要有清晰的产品规划，能够找到自己的品类创新啊。越有创新力的产品，实际上越能够避开竞争啊。第3个就是一定是追求有质量的能力的情况下，再追求规模，而不是先规模再质量。因为规模之后，你再想把质量提高的难度更高。所以我们在过去的1年里面都在追求质量下的规模 先保证质量。那么这是3个从宏观角度，那么从短期的微观角度，我们做的无外乎3个事情。第一个，大幅度变革赢的能力，也就是品牌市场营销的能力。我们认为能够用更少的钱取得数倍的营销能力提高，才是我们的期望的目标。第二个，消服的能力，在过去的时间里面，小鹏实际上刚刚我所说的是，从去年4季度末，我们降低了130家这个经营不善的或者经营质量差的销售能力。那么我们期待在今年的2季度开始，新的店开始建立，并且从孵化成、培养成、育成成一个熟的店之后，我们认为销售跟服务能力，特别在于后面的3、4线城市有一个比较快速的提高。那么另外一个就是在产品上的能力会不断的提高。所以在微观上就是刚才所说的赢乘以销乘以产品的能力的组合。谢谢。
Thank you for your question. And to be honest, this is really quite a tough question. And I believe that different automobile companies will have different ways to deal with competitions. And for us, really, to answer your question from 2 perspectives, and the first one is from a macro perspective. And I think it's really important about building up a systematically very strong foundation. And the second one is all about innovation. And the innovation, having innovative product is the only possible way to avoid competition. And thirdly, we are always pursuing quality first and then to scale. If you do it the other way around, if you start with scale first, and it would be very difficult to improve quality. And secondly, if we talk about on the short-term micro level, and I think that it would have the following areas, and the first one would be marketing. And we are always looking at how to spend less money to improve the marketing results. And secondly, it's all about the sales and service capability. As I talked earlier, last quarter of 2023, and we had terminated 130 dealers, and those were the underperforming ones. And by Q2 this year, once we have built up our new dealer partners and matured and nurtured all these dealers, and we believe that this is the dealers who would help us to be able to further promote our vehicles in the 3rd and 4th tier cities. And thirdly, it is about the functionality and the capability of your product. And so from the micro level, it is all about marketing plus sales plus service and plus your product.
谢谢小鹏总的分享。Thanks for sharing all the details. Thank you.
Your next question comes from Ming Sun Lee with Bank of America. Please go ahead.
谢谢小鹏总还有各位领导。那我这边也是2个问题。那第一个问题呢，是关于我们跟大众的这个合作，因为去年大众就成为我们的股东，那想了解一下，就是现在跟大众的一些更多的合作，除了车型上的合作呢，包括集中采购，然后或者是说其他的合作，可不可以请管理层这边可以提供一些就是比较量化的一些帮助，比如说有多少的这个零部件可以共同采购，或者是说在成本部分的话能够有多大的帮助？那这是我第一个问题。So my first question is regarding your cooperation with Volkswagen. Could you give more quantified answer regarding your cooperation? For example, how many components you are able to co-purchase along with Volkswagen, and how much cost do you expect to save? 谢谢，这是我第一个问题。
Hi, this is Charles. I think a few weeks ago we announced that we have entered into the master agreement for the platform and the software services. That is a major development milestone for the projects we're working together based on our G9 platform. In the meantime, we also enter into the joint procurement program that we will jointly procure the components for both our models on top of the G9 platform and also the Volkswagen's models building on our G9 platform. I would say that that's a very high degree of the platform and the components sharing. And through the joint procurement program, also leveraging Volkswagen's world-class supply chain capabilities, we have seen the initial good results coming out from the joint sourcing program. And we believe that such joint sourcing program will continue to allow us to optimize our cost structure and also quickly bring our BOM cost structure to the competitive level in the market. Also, I think last point is that, as Xiaopeng mentioned in his remark, the revenue generating from the platform, the software services, will start to kick in from 2024. And it is the recurring, once it started to recording our P&L, it will be a recurring revenue and will have meaningfully positive impact to our GP margin. And so it will continue to give us the positive contribution to our profitability.
Thank you, Charles. 那我继续我的第二个问题。我第二个问题呢，则是我们下个月预计要亮相的Mona Project 的这个产品啊。当我知道就是说因为下个月才要正式亮相，所以现在可能还没有办法说太多。但是可不可以就是请管理阶层这边稍微可以透露一下，就是说这款产品的话，具体下半年它是这个先 to B， 然后再 to C。的一个这个节奏进行，然后另外就是如果以这个100分为我们这个跟这个Mona 产品的这个整合来看的话，那您觉得就是说今年的这个产品，它跟我们小鹏品牌的这个不管是平台的整合啊，或者说自动驾驶啊，这个整个的这个设计跟制造的这个整合的程度，今年大概能够达到多少分？那或者是明年就可以达到这样100分的这个水平对，这是我的第二个问题。然后另外也想请教是不是可以理解，就是说下个月这个产品它搭载的高级辅助驾驶差不多就是我们目前这个XPilot 3.5 这样的一个水平的一个高级辅助驾驶。那我用英文翻译一下。So my second question is related to your Mona project product. So how do you think about your integration level between Xpeng brand as well as the Mona project brand? And could you also give us more details about the progress for you to launch the 2B model and also a 2C model? And also lastly, is the autonomous driving functions provided by Mona similar to XPilot 3.5? 谢谢。
Hey Ming, it's Brian. Let me address your question on this Mona project. Yes, we're very excited that we'll be launching the Mona sub-brand in a very short time. And also we think it will be, I would say, one of the blockbuster products in its category. The reason we think there's a potential is because one, we think it's a very well designed product, has I think I would say best-in-class design, as well as in some of the functions, especially as related to smart functions. We think it will have differentiations compared to similar products in this category. At the same time, we have done a lot of effort try to make sure the product is also very competitive from both cost as well as competitiveness in terms of the focusing on both 2C and 2B channels. So needless to say, we have high hopes for this Mona product. And also in terms of strategy, we think it will have actually the dual prong channels. I think it will start from the 2C channel first to make sure it will be received as a premium product, and then followed by I think 2B channel sales. So that's likely to be the sequence of our marketing. From the specific product functions and capabilities, I will probably leave that to the launch event to give the full details. But needless to say, again, we think it's a very competitive product. We also have plans to
steadily improve on this product based on additional, I would say, development plan for later this year as well as early next year. So this is also going to be improving as the platform in this A-class. So again, I mean, I think this is a lot to expect for, and I think I would love all of you to wait until our launch event, which will happen probably very soon.
Thank you, Brian.
Your next question comes from Bin Wang with Deutsche Bank. Please go ahead.
好，谢谢各位领导。我第一个问题是关于全年的销售总量，因为有媒体报道呢，我们今年大概看26到28万的全年销量，想问问看是否这个目标是公司目前的合理范围啊？如果是这个目标的话，其实银行每个季度要卖到7到8万台，每个月卖到2万5，请问什么时候可以实现这个月销2万5？以及呢，如果方便的话呢，能不能说多少来自于滴滴的一个帮助？因为 Mona 这个车 To B 的话，有没有一个保底的销量来自于滴滴？以及今年的出口目标大概如果是在26到28万里面，大概是多少？我翻译一下。My question is about the full year 2024 volume target. Some of the media report that you target at 260 to 280,000 units. Is that in the right range you are thinking about? If that's the case, which means in each quarter, you actually need to sell about 75,000 units in prior monthly 25,000. So when you can achieve this 25,000, if it's true, separately, do you actually got some commitments from DD to have a certain to be from Mona, and how much volume from the export? Thank you.
Hey, Bing, it's Brian again. I think good try, but I think as usual, we do not give specific annual guidances on delivery numbers as our policy. But what I can say, at least for our perspective, is we are very optimistic about this year given the product lineup and the launch schedule. We think we can achieve on a full year basis a much greater than market, sort of growth rate. And I think we will be gaining significant market share increases. That's our expectation. We also think this year will be similar to last year in terms of first half will be light given obviously the industry dynamic as well as our product launch schedules. But we think we will start to pick up steam towards the second quarter as well as the second half based on the changes we're making in our sales and marketing channels as well as our product launch in the third and fourth quarter. For Mona, I think like I said, it's a very exciting product. We'll be launching the 2C channel first, which we think will likely happen in the third quarter in terms of delivery. And also for the 2B channel, will probably be a few months behind. We do not have a specific number to give you in terms of what the Mona expectation is. But I think as you can tell, to be a successful product in the A-class category, I think you will have to deliver on a sort of a range around about 10,000 a month type of scale to be successful. So, obviously at a steady state, we think Mona should be achieving that level of sales. So again, I think I don't have a specific numbers, but you can tell that this is how we envision the full year delivery will look like for us. Oh, yeah, in terms of overseas sales also, let me just comment on that. Again, this year we will be making significant expansion efforts into many new markets. I think that we will start to see the delivery results from those efforts. And I think from the volume perspective, we think we will be generating tens of thousands of sort of delivery from international sales.
好的，谢谢。我第二个问题想关于那个自动驾驶的，因为华为在前两天的大会上也说小鹏汽车目前第一，但他们要改变这个情况。想问问看呢，我们的技术跟华为的技术领先在什么地方，以及将来如何继续维持在自动驾驶的绝对领先。我翻译一下。In the recent conference over the weekend, Huawei said that Xpeng is the absolute leader in the autonomous driving. However, Huawei want to make the situation change. Can you describe what's the technology differentiation between the Xpeng technology and Huawei, and how you maintain the leadership? Thank you.
对，当时余承东在百人会上分享的时候，我刚好就坐在下面 这个也谢谢你的问题啊，这个我觉得我们跟华为在共同相信的赛道里面一起努力，我觉得这是非常明显的事情啊。我觉得华为是中国非常非常优秀的科技企业，我们非常尊重华为，他们做的也很棒啊。那么从我角度来看的话，在自动驾驶领域里面，我们各有千秋，在不同的领域各有自己的这个长板啊，这个能力对我们来看，我觉得小鹏最主要要提高我们的对于品牌、对于营销的相关能力，这也是我们在从去年的年底一直在做的这个事情啊。我认为自动驾驶需要将几个方向的事情都要关注好啊。我觉得第一个是能力啊，这个第二个是安全，第三个是成本啊，第四个实际上从我角度来看的话还有能不能把它做到这个更容易的全球化，获取更大的利润啊，实际上是。那么今天我们看到中国有相当多的人喜欢自动驾驶，但是对于大众用户，对于自动辅助驾驶的需求还没有得到真正的体现。我觉得这是因为我们还没有谁能够把全域的自动辅助驾驶做得非常的好，以及把成本做得合适，以及把营销做得全面化。我觉得这3点都是小鹏要去做的事情啊。那么但是我相信在未来的18个月内我们会看到这几个方面都有巨大的提高的机会啊。就像我刚刚所说的，大模型上车真的能够帮助自动驾驶有非常大的提高啊，这个能力，以及在从去年开始，小鹏对于这个高等级的自动辅助驾驶在全球的成本的大幅度下降，以及整个的营销能力，这都是我们现在做的事情啊。我期待将来这个我们会跟华为一样啊。当然呢，我觉得小鹏是只把自动驾驶做在自己跟少数合作伙伴上面，那么比华为要更专注。我觉得专注更有能力形成这个战斗力啊，这是我的看法，谢谢。
Thank you very much for your question. Actually, when Mr. Yu Tongdong from Huawei was making this statement, I happened to be among the audience, and I was sitting downstairs in the audience. And I would say that for Huawei and Xpeng and both companies, we are working together and putting in our efforts into something that we both truly believe. And Huawei obviously is an excellent Chinese technology company, and we have a lot of respect for them. I would say that both companies have our unique advantages, and for Xpeng and in terms of what we have done, and we really started working more on our brand as well as our marketing from end of last year. And in terms of autonomous driving, and I believe that there are 4 areas that would really be very important. And number 1 would be the capability or functionality of your car. Second would be safety, and thirdly would be the cost of the vehicle, and fourthly would be how international that you can expand into for your product and to obtain more revenue and profit. In China, obviously, we can see that autonomous driving is something that everybody loves. And however, in terms of the general public, the demand, it is not quite yet met. And this is something that we need to work hard on in the next 18 months. And we can see that, for instance, in terms of the application in all areas, and all-round application and the cost reducing, as well as more marketing work that to be carried out. And in the next 18 months, in addition, I do believe that huge changes will be brought by with the large model being applied to autonomous driving, and this is something that we should watch out for, and we believe that this will bring great benefits to the industry. And since the first quarter of last year, we have also worked hard in bringing down the cost as well as working more on our marketing. And the same as Huawei, and what we want to do is that we want to become an excellent company. But then coming back to autonomous driving, I would still say that we are a company that is more specialized in vehicle, and autonomous driving is really our strength, and this is our uniqueness. Thank you.
Thank you very much. 谢谢。
Your next question comes from Tina Hu with Goldman Sachs. Please go ahead.
感谢管理层的时间。对，我第一个问题是关于咱们这个新品牌的，因为整个价格区间还是跟小鹏这个品牌是有挺大的就是分隔的，没有任何重叠基本上。那我想问一下，我们的这个销售渠道网络，是会跟咱们小鹏品牌共用吗？还是会有自己单独的一个销售渠道？然后可能对不同价格段的话，渠道上边有没有一些就是差异化？然后就是这个新品牌，因为价格相对来讲比较低一点，所以说设计的毛利率是不是比这个小鹏品牌要稍微低一些？这第一个问题我翻译一下。Thanks management for taking my question. So the first question is about our new brand. Since in terms of the pricing segment, it's actually quite separate from the Xpeng brand. So wondering, would our sales channel be share the current sales channel or have a separate sales channel, considering the target customer segment would be differentiated? And then the second, also related, is that considering we are at a lower price range for the new brand, wondering the designed gross margin level, would it be also lower than the Xpeng brand? Thanks.
谢谢。新品牌的渠道，我们在第一款车上市初期会在现在渠道门店开辟独立挂牌的展厅为主，但是随着我们这个新品牌产品线的丰富，我们之后会不断的建设独立的经销商渠道网络。我们期望在明年后年达到数百家独立的这个门店在这个新品牌上。那么关于毛利的问题，我想请我们的这个 James 来回答。
Thank you very much for your question with respect to the new brand. And for the new brand, we will be launching them into our existing stores, and we will have independent exhibition halls for the new brand. And in the future, we are also looking at building more dealerships and more independent stores dedicated to these new brands. And we hope that there will be hundreds of these new independent stores for the new brands dedicated to them. And with respect to your other question, and I will invite our finance VP and Mr. James Wu to take your question.
Yeah, on the margin front for Mona, typically we won't give specific margin for a particular car line. As Brian and Xiaopeng mentioned, Mona will be focusing on the A-class segment. Obviously, we won't imagine that A segment products to make the highest profit in our portfolio. But overall, our expectation is Mona will achieve healthy, positive margin for this brand overall. And as Brian mentioned, Mona that will be launched in the Beijing Auto Show will just be the first model. There will be additional models that's coming through the platform. The other thing that over the long term we might be thinking about is a different commercialization strategy in terms of our software, and we'll give more guidance and information in the next couple of quarters. And the other thing I want to mention is in terms of Mona, because it's large scale, the target customer base, and our partnership with DD, so they will help us to market the product. Eventually, we expect relatively lower associated sales costs for Mona compared to Xpeng brand overall.
好的，感谢二位的解答。然后我第二个问题是，咱们在2月份的这个交付报告上边，我看到有一句话说，这个 X9可能在春节前有一些供应链的瓶颈，然后这个瓶颈应该在这个春节之后会得到解决 ，X9的交付量也会显著提升。想问一下，就是大概是什么样的一个供应链瓶颈？然后接下来的我们交付新的这些车型产品的时候，如何去更好的去避免类似的供应链瓶颈？So my second question is regarding, I think in the February delivery report, we mentioned that there were some supply chain bottleneck regarding to X9 before the Chinese New Year, and the company expect after Chinese New Year, these bottlenecks would be resolved and the delivery volume of X9 should increase. And so just wondering what kind of bottleneck were we facing, and also going forward, how do we plan to prevent these similar situations from happening again? Thanks.
非常棒的非常棒的问题啊，这个感谢啊。这个首先我们 X9 的供应链的挑战，我们在2月底春节后已经得到解决。在过去的几个车型里面，我们都碰到您刚刚所说的问题。实际上对我们来说，我们内部也一直在思考啊，我们会做几个方面的变化。从去年10月份，那么我亲自来管整个的供应链之后，我开始将我们的供应链的合作伙伴的数量开始来进行削减。我们会优选在国内的民营上市企业，且是追求高质量和追求有弹性能力的合作伙伴来做我们的核心供应商。我们在过去的数个月时间，我们做了非常多这样的变化。我相信第一，在未来我们在很多核心的件上，我们有持续长期战略的合作伙伴去来解决。我觉得第二个点就是说，我们实际上从新的架构平台里面刚刚所说的用模块化来定点，很多模块只有1家到2家的合作伙伴，它保证了我们的整个的体系能力在不同车上是用一样的模组，那么更高质量、更低成本以及更有弹性的供应链的保障能力，这是2。第3，我们在过去的时间里面，我们调整了供应链质量管理的团队，我们开始跟整个的采购从组织和工具上进行打通我们在这个点上能够去来确保我们后面每一款，我们期望确保每一款新车，包括今年后面的2款车，我们下的这个内部下的 OKR 的决心就是一定要按照我们的期望准时量产，并且达到我们期望的初月和次月，就是首3月的规模的这个需求，要把它做好，这都是我们正在做的事情。谢谢。
That is an excellent question, and thank you for putting this forward. So in terms of the supply chain issue that you had mentioned encountered by X9, end of February after Chinese New Year, this problem has already been resolved. And yes, indeed, in the past we have also encountered similar issues. Internally, we have also been reflecting how to resolve this problem. And since taking over the supply chain myself personally last October, and we have combed through a new management system, and we are now reducing the number of suppliers, and we mainly focus on these high quality private Chinese companies which are listed, and those are the ones who can also provide us with certain flexibilities. And so in the future, I don't think that we need to worry about this issue, because we do now have long-term strategic partners in place. And second, in terms of our products, and we now have standardized modules, and generally speaking, and we have about 1 to 2 partners who provide us with these modules that can be used in quite a broad spectrum of different models of cars, and this will improve the efficiency and bring down the cost as well as ensure the quality, and they are very flexible partners to work with. And thirdly, in terms of supply chain management team, we have also also done work to adjust our existing supply chain management team and in terms of the organizational structure, and we now have a new system in place, and internally our company have the determination that we are ready and for all of these products to be launched and for the first 3 months, and we want to make sure that we will achieve a very good scale of sales.
好的，感谢小鹏总的回答，谢谢。
Your next question comes from Xinqi Yan with CITIC Securities. Please go ahead.
小鹏总好，各位管理层好。问一个很快的关于智驾的问题，在去年 G6 的发布会上，您有提到，您认为2027年会是智驾相对比较成熟的一个年份，会看到2027年整个智驾在中国的渗透率达到30%或者以上。那么请问过了这半年多，您现在对行业的判断是否有改变？然后以及您是否愿意帮我们分享一下，您对于这个时间点的判断的一些背后的逻辑？我翻译一下。On last year, you mentioned that 2027 will be a critical year for full autonomous driving in China, where we will probably witness 30% of cars in China will adopt fully autonomous driving. I was wondering what is your latest view on that, and could you possibly share the theory behind your estimation? Thank you.
对，我觉得会比我在去年G6上讲的速度要提前一定的时间啊，这个是我觉得有几个的变化。我觉得第一个，大模型使在我们新的自驾领域里面，原来基本上很难去解决的，类通用智能的一些能力得到更快速的提高。那么这个我们在去年开始研发，那么在今年我们已经很快已经在测试中间已经有比较深的体会，这是第一。那么抱歉，在这个能力上，我们会不断的去迭代，使大模型的能力放进来，使它更聪明。那么这是第一。可以先来翻译，谢谢。
Thank you very much for your question. And yes, indeed, for this year, and I do believe that we would be able to complete the task a little bit ahead of time, ahead of schedule, as what I have mentioned last year. And first of all, in terms of the large model and being adopted in ADAS system, and through our testing, we had already been able to discover that the large model could really help with the speeding up and the realization of the generic intelligence and smart autonomous driving. So it is definitely an advantage, and we have already done the testing, and it has already approved this.
那么第二个点实际上还是来自于硬件成本的下降跟硬件规模的这个支撑，所以它会推动。实际上我们可以看到，第一个就是说，现在在市场上，小鹏在不断的去希望智能驾驶降本，但是还有比小鹏更便宜的成本的智能驾驶的相关的方案。但是大模型的推出，使更大算力和更大对于内存需求的解决方案能够取得更大成功，达的这个实现了推动。其次，在有限场景或者我们叫做受限场景无人驾驶的相关的硬件的成熟度，比我所在那个时候所看到要成熟的更快速。所以我们认为，包括了高等级的自动辅助驾驶，包括了受限场景的完全无人驾驶的推动，我认为都会加速。谢谢。
Secondly, and we know that in terms of hardware cost, and for Xpeng, obviously we would like to bring it down, and we also would like to see that providing support to our systems by a large scale. And not only just that, for others, Xpeng believes that, and would like to see the cost to come down. And we also see out there in the market there are other people providing even cheaper solutions. And what we have discovered is that with the large model, and it definitely would be able to provide more computing power and more CPU, and this would be able to help and push for the faster and better achievement in our vehicles and to bring the success faster to the market. And another point I would like to mention is that in certain restricted scenarios or in certain scenarios whereby there are a lot of limitations, and we can see that the large model has actually helped with the speeding up of realizing fully autonomous driving, and this is something that we are focusing on, and we have a lot of confidence in this.
抱歉，实际上背后还有一点就是说，这个无高清地图的解决方案，我们最开始认为，当推出之后，应该在开城的数据上应该是属于加速，但是后来我们发现它不是线性的，它是指数级的提高，是极大的加速。所以从中国甚至全球角度来看，无高清地图的方案，我觉得都是将来这个自动驾驶能够高效率布局的这个拓展的一个关键要素。
Apologies, and I have one last point to add, and which is that in terms of the non-HD map, and we in the beginning, and when we looked at this, and we thought that yes, it will speed up the process and in a linear process. However, it wasn't linear. It was actually extremely fast in terms of how it has ramped up, and we do believe that having this data in our hand and having witnessed the non-HD map, how it's working in reality, and we do think that this is something will help again with the large model and its adoption and helping further advancing the ADAS and autonomous driving. Thank you.
好的，谢谢您。
Thank you. That is all the time we have for questions. Now I'd like to turn the call back over to the company for closing remarks.
Thank you once again for joining us today. If you have further questions, please feel free to contact Xpeng's Investor Relations through the contact information provided on our website or the Pearson's Financial Communications.
This concludes today's conference call. You may now disconnect your line. Thank you.